town I grew up in. And your experience is really important to me. I think this is a movie to see with people asking big groups make it a community experience. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, this is the first night anyone's seen in theaters after 4 years. We played in 2 theaters at South by Southwest Film Festival in March for our festival premiere. So this is a real thing.
It's great. You mentioned like the conversation's going to start. Obviously, I want to read you a quote here from Variety. It said, this is one of the quotes. It's not hyperbole to say the age of disclosure and conversations it creates could change the world. That's not every day you get a movie that can possibly change the world, but I think that's true, as you guys probably have seen here just watching it. I guess, like, what do you hope happens as a result of this in the short term, and how as people start to see it here over the next several weeks and months?
Yes, my hope is that the public becomes aware of the reality of the situation, all this information that has been kept from us that impacts us all, and leave the theater, or if you watch it at home, leave your house and tell your friends and family to watch it, and start driving forward the national conversation that needs to happen about this, and then that will become a global conversation. I think there's no more interesting conversation to have this Thanksgiving. Around the entertainment. If you haven't seen this movie, they can watch it. Give it a test. It is definitely, as you can see, the most bipartisan issue of our time. So you can, assume there's not going to be political arguments around it either. It's an issue that everybody cares about.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Jay, speaking of like conversations, Jay, I feel like obviously, well, first, thank you for being here, I would say, and we want to give another round of applause for Jay. What do you, I guess just broadly, like, what do you hope happens next now that this is out, and like, what do you want, people to take away from this movie?
So, first, I truly appreciate the opportunity to take part in this historic documentary. I really think this is the most important documentary ever made, and that we're at a historic moment for history and humanity. This is monumental. So, and with that, I want you to think about, the risks that we all took, 34 of us together, arm to arm, safety in numbers, but also the risks for America, for the world, what's at stake, what you just observed in the story that we told. What you saw was really like a very well put together, unclassified briefing on this topic, NHI, on the hidden 80-year cover-up of what's been hidden from you. Just flip that and think about the things that I still know on the classified side. That conversation, and I really think at the end of the day, Dan deserves to win an Oscar for this documentary. So like Dan said, talk to your friends, talk to your family, make this the conversation for Thanksgiving, but also use social media. Get out there, talk to your representative, make your representative do their job and make this the national conversation that needs to be.
That's great. Something there that Jay was saying. I mean, it's incredibly concerning for me, I guess, as a viewer, and for everybody to know that Congress, like elected officials who need to know this stuff, can't access this information. I guess what worries you most then about like the current situation?
Yeah, the whole idea is frustration. So the fact that it's actually out in theaters and people can see it. 34 senior officials that we've all worked together and had conversations with the vision that Dan had to bring all that together. I think what we're really hoping for is to take it seriously. We've all made jokes, we've all grown up with great, extraterrestrial type movies and theaters, but this is a serious issue. This is an issue that I think we've been trying to get out in different venues in government for a long time, and mainly because we're in competition regularly with China and Russia. This is a whole different type of competition that we've been in for 80 years. There's a lot of benefit that we can get
American people and industry as a whole to really kind of get ahead of our foreign competitors. So have serious conversations, talk to your representatives. It's time for us to grow up and get the conversation out the correct way.
That's great. Hal, as the chief scientist of several government UAP programs, you know better than ever anyone how this breakthrough technology could be used. And speaking there to what Charlie was saying too, both good and bad. Obviously, I guess with regard to the energy source of UAP and how it could lead to clean energy, but also WMDs. You said in the film there, this part I really like, that you vote for making it a humanitarian issue, making it open and known to the world. I guess do you still think humanity can handle that level of responsibility right now?
Well, as physicists, we like to dig into, seeing how these craft operate and the amount of energy that's involved in what they're doing. And so we recognize that if we harness that energy for our culture, there's practically nothing we couldn't accomplish. But that has to come forth and be available to our entire industrial complex. And so trying to get through the gate to get some of this information out, I consider absolutely top of the line. And when I look around and say, okay, well, many of us have dealt with this on a highly classified level, so how is it we're talking about disclosure? Well, actually, one of my favorite sort of insights along the way was that back when we were developing atomic bombs, we had the Manhattan Project that was classified, as highly classified as it could be, and yet we and the Russians kind of marched along at the same rate. On the other hand, when it came to electronics, we didn't classify electronics, and so we took off like a rocket and left Russia in our dust. And so that's why, even though there's some concerns about being too open, what might our adversaries get from us, nonetheless, I think that's what we need to increase the cooperation between various aerospace corporations and government entities and so on to actually move this forward. Then we could develop the ability to travel to the stars, to provide energy globally. And so I think that's the goal for us as physicists, and I think we could accomplish that. And I gotta say also that